YouTube is a very fickle thing, something that I feel a lot of creators tend to forget over the course of their time on this website. It takes lots of hard work to get anywhere and become successful, no matter how good your content is, but it can just as easily be swept out from under you, and you'll be left with fleeting social blade numbers, a dead channel, and anytime you try to say anything anywhere on the internet, at least one person will hate you, despite having never met you, and you having never met them. They, in their ever so intelligent heart of hearts, will have a strong distaste for you, and probably for good reason. But these people likely didn't develop that opinion of you on their own. Chances are someone convinced them that you are an undesirable human being, and that person is likely an entertainer, someone else on this website who made them think this way. Though many people have tried to destroy another YouTuber's credibility, both to astonishing success and crippling failure, a few people have risen above the rest, some which have fallen out of favor recently, and some which are still chugging along to this day. I find these people very interesting, and in this video I will try to analyze them and tell you, yes, you, how to destroy a YouTuber's reputation. So, before I tell you how to do this, let's get a few things straight. The goal of making a YouTube video, in my opinion, should never be to destroy a YouTuber's career. Not openly, anyway. When you're making a video like this, you never want to reveal it or make it obvious in any way that your true intentions are to cut off this person's money supply. That will make you look like a dick. Which, don't get me wrong, you are a dick. But we don't need everyone knowing that. One of the people who many turn to as a destroyer of channels is Ian, or iDubbbz, the creator of the series Content Cop. As I'm sure many of you already know, Content Cop is a series which sets out to show the various flaws in another YouTuber's content and personality, with 11 episodes released to date. In each video, iDubbbz picks a target and carefully dissects their persona, in the early days spending maybe a few weeks per video, but now he has gotten to the point where he takes months to craft one of these masterpieces, which in the end is definitely worth it. But over time, Content Cop has built up a certain reputation. Granted, Content Cop is a great series in my opinion, one of my favorite on the website in fact. However, people seem to have the misconception that it has the capability to destroy people's careers, which just isn't the case. After the Content Cops were created for Leafy and Keemstar, both started to experience critical sub-loss, from which only one of them would recover. Due to the timing of these, most people seem to think, well this came out at this time, and they started losing subs here, so Content Cop must have killed their channel. No, that's not really the case at all. In both instances, especially the Leafy one, there was definitely some sub loss dealt from the Content Cop, as Leafy and iDubbbz had a shared pool of subscribers at the time, but this in actuality did not cause the downfall of these channels. The main causes for Leafy falling were the repeated beatings from Keemstar, the hypocrisy shown with Grade A Under A, videos by Nick Cash and Herodic where they detailed how they were used by him, and his change in format from storytime commentaries to reaction-style roast commentaries that he has become known for. And for Keem, he had been receiving lots of hate at the time, which culminated in the Content Cop, but for neither Leafy or Keem was it their ultimate demise. I don't even think that the Content Cop was the main video that caused Leafy's downfall, even though it got a ridiculous amount of views. The one that I see as the channel killer was Nick Cash's video, which detailed how Leafy is here used him to make his videos, taking advantage of the naivety displayed by a lot of small creators at the time and making them make the good parts of his videos, and then not paying or crediting them at all in the end. Nick wasn't the only one either. People like Herodic and Mubulated also detailed the negative experiences that they had with Calvin, which only further contributed to his downfall. The sub loss that Keemstar received from the Content Cop made on him wasn't crippling in the end. He did go through a rough patch for about 5 months, where he was losing subs and Drama Alert had issues breaking 600,000 views an episode, but eventually Jake and Logan Paul came around, Keemstar made a video about them every day, and he doubled his sub count in one summer, from 1,600,000 subscribers to over 3 million subs. Growth which has still not stopped to this day. So sure, iDubbbz certainly caused some sub loss and left good old Daniel in a really tough spot, but this was not the end of his channel at all, seeing his massive rebound recently. Overall, Content Cop was not the main cause of Leafy's downfall. It was really just a starting point, a catalyst of sorts. And they are really the only two instances of Content Cop ever having the possibility to kill a channel. In the case of Tana Mojo, RiceGum, and various other creators, iDubbbz did not manage to deal crippling blows to their channels. At most, they saw sub loss for a day or two, but immediately after, their channels resumed their growth. Content Cop is not a channel killer by any means, and I doubt that it ever really will be. However, there are some things that we can learn from the series that can help us on our journey. The thing that makes iDubbbz so hard to criticize is that he never takes a moral high ground, which keeps him from becoming a hypocrite. Where other creators have failed at this and tend to take a subjective viewpoint, preaching to their audience in a condescending way, iDubbbz almost never does this. Instead, he criticizes people that are almost objectively wrong, in a moral way. I know that sounds contradictory to an extent, but allow me to explain. Ian criticizes people for for character traits that are widely held in a negative light by almost everyone. Things like lying, narcissism, and hypocrisy. These are all traits which nobody admires, and it will drive someone to not even want to watch that person's content or support them in any way. This is one of the goals that you want to accomplish. You want the person to be inseparable from their content, because if your goal is to kill their channel, it can't just be their content and it can't just be the person behind it that the person dislikes. You have to actually hate both aspects, but it also doesn't necessarily take both. If anything, you have to attack their content in such a way that it makes them look like a bad person, or just go the latter route of the exposed video, which is somewhat hard to do because generally you need to have contact or experience with said person in order to effectively expose them. But there is something else that we can learn from the content cop, which is that you alone will likely not be able to take down a channel. In the past, with people like Alex, I have managed to slow down his sub growth for a day or two when making a video about him. But the reality of the situation is that my audience is not big enough and people do not want to listen to me alone. The same thing applies with my friend Wooly1 on his video about wild Spartans. Sure, he stopped his channel growth for a month maybe, but even when getting 100,000 views and reaching almost 90% of Fat Spartans' audience, he did not manage to kill his channel. This is somewhat disconcerting to know that you alone cannot kill a channel unless you have a fucking massive audience. But luckily we have identified the issue and we can fix it. Instead of just making your one video, you have to dedicate enough to the issue to cause a domino effect. Put your drop of a video in the pond and start a wave in all directions, essentially. This can be tricky and it can take a lot of planning to do well, but chances are at least one of you has the potential to do it right. Looking back to Leafy, there were hundreds of videos made on him, some more effective than others, but as we have already established, it was not just one video that caused Calvin's downfall. From here, there are two ways that we can go in order for you to succeed at this. The first option is that your video does so well, meaning upwards of 300k views, preferably upwards of 500k, that a few other creators who are more relevant than you will respond to your video or make similar videos essentially copying you and mentioning your name. Generally, this will be one of your generic commentary channels that just relay the same information that you gave. Obnoxious and stupid, yes, but in the long run, these leeches can help you and you shouldn't turn them away. Even criticism is more views and attraction to your takedown video, which should be welcomed. But the issue with this is that it may not work every time and you really cannot anticipate how well your video will do, even if you essentially rape the algorithm with tags and descriptions. It is not a surefire method of taking down a channel. Now, I do not endorse the actions that I'm about to describe, and I will never take part in them, but if you are committed enough to taking down this YouTuber of yours, then it may be a good idea to get a little sleazy. While there are a number of methods you can use for this, such as blatantly lying about your friends or exaggerating their actions so that you can distance yourself from your target, or you could even, well, just straight up lie about your target in a way that they cannot defend themselves, the best way to do this is to get nifty with some other websites. Reddit, as most of you know, is an image board website and forum which has become massively popular in the past decade or so, and is responsible for the popularity of a number of YouTubers who have had their content shared on the website, and subsequently have become massively popular. The way that Reddit works is with an upvote system. Each post you make has the potential to be upvoted by another user, and each upvote contributes to its popularity. A little known fact is that after a post receives 25 to 50 upvotes, it is shown to a wide range of people across the website, and can eventually reach the front page of Reddit, or at least the subreddit that it was posted to. What some users have done, such as the infamous troll Reactor, is make a post and then create 25 fake accounts, changing their IP address to upvote said post, and send it to the front page. For example, let's say you post something on r/videos, use your 25 to 50 fake accounts to upvote the post, and then wait a bit. In a day or so, your video will most likely at least be on the front page of r/videos, and at the most, it will be on the front page of the entire website, visible to millions of people across the globe, and rewarding your video with millions upon millions of views. By manipulating the Reddit algorithms, you can potentially kill someone's channel. In fact, many of the videos about Leafy were helped by the sharing techniques of Reddit, as well as the downfall of Grade A Under A. Now, like I said, I do not support these actions, and I will never take part in them. If I already did, then I would have 100,000 subscribers by now, and I wouldn't be telling you this. But if you are dedicated enough and have a somewhat skewed moral compass, then this may be the best way for you to get your video seen, and get the ball rolling to fuck up your target. Personally, I would never do that. Now hear me out with this next one, because a lot of people, including myself, don't like this guy's videos, but we're going to talk about him anyway because there's a lot that he does right with his videos, whether you like it or not. Rather than taking the Alex route of being a condescending prick about the people you critique and moralizing them, Kavos is just a dick to the utmost, but he also uses objectivity in his videos. You see, rather than try to push his opinions on others and be an asshole to his viewers, Kavos uses fake objectivity to convince his viewers that the people he is criticizing are bad, from a moral standpoint, and sometimes even legal. While obviously walking into the woods and filming a dead body isn't objectively wrong, because nothing is objectively wrong, we all have our own morals, it can be widely accepted that what Logan did was at least stupid, and at most that it was disgusting by disrespecting a dead Japanese man's corpse. Kavos doesn't attack people for petty things, or at least insignificant ones. He has an overarching theme in his videos that works well for the viewer and paints a good narrative for his viewers to go through. He portrays his videos as being very objective, and while they're not, and in some cases they can be horribly dishonest, they come across well and he wins the audience in the end. You see, when making a video about someone, you don't need to prove to them that you are right. It's like a debate. It doesn't matter if your arguments are good, and you don't have to be smart really. All you have to do is win the audience. They have to like what you're doing. You can win then through jokes or damning points or research, nice editing, whatever it is really. All you have to do is win the audience and then you've won the war. People like Colossal is Crazy do a very good job of achieving this, not only through humor and having good arguments, but also by showing the audience that he cared what he was talking about. His 40-minute video on FouseyTube was well edited, scripted, and researched, and was overall just an entertaining hit piece, which made its impact more effective. If you can prove to the audience that you put effort into your videos, and you can also prove that the other person doesn't, then you've definitely won. You don't half-ass a video like this. You have to have top-notch editing, audio, scripting, and research, because even one fuck-up and your entire video is seen as worthless. While judging from how massive his ego is, he may think that his criticism is somewhat close to iDubbbz. This is far from the truth, but Kavos' criticism does hold up well, and in many cases, he heavily damages the reputations of those who he attacks. And even when he receives more dislikes than likes, he still starts to raise questions about his target, such as in the case of Philip DeFranco. Whether or not you like his videos, which I really don't, you cannot deny that they have certain qualities which have made his videos effective and made him very popular. No, I don't like them, but Pierce's impact on the YouTube community has been undeniable, so I have to give him credit for that. No other strictly commentary channel has really grown to the massive heights that he has. I'm Alex only has around half of his sub count, Pyrocynical became popular from his MLG videos, Leafy is sort of, well, he isn't coming back anytime soon, and Aiden Projects is sort of special. So I have to give Kavos credit for that, I guess. So congrats, now you know how to destroy a YouTuber's reputation, and even their channel. Some of these methods aren't provable for sure, as everything relies on a case-by-case basis, but I think if you follow the steps right, then you can probably take down a YouTuber's channel pretty effectively, and if you use these methods and do it well, then honestly, you should be pretty impressed with yourself. Ruining a YouTuber's reputation is no small feat, it takes a lot of effort, and doing it successfully is definitely not anything to be scoffed at. Even causing a small amount of sub loss is pretty challenging, considering that oftentimes the channels that you attack are much larger than yours, and they are usually seen in a positive light in comparison to yours in the YouTube community. You will likely ruin them, something which will affect you in the long run. Killing someone's hopes and their dreams is not something that we can all really live with. Their career, their aspirations, all gone if you do it well enough, which is why I took so long to make this video. But nevertheless, this is a somewhat touchy issue, and you really need to consider the consequences of your actions before you make a decision like this or make a video like this. Keep in mind, I would never make a video with the intention of destroying another YouTuber's channel, and I would definitely not manipulate Reddit or lie to take down someone's channel. Well, not that you would be aware of anyway. Hey, so I'm doing this little talking after the video thing now because I have some things to say before the video is over, and I don't want to just dump it all in the description like I used to. Moving on, I'd like to thank Josh is Broken for helping me out with the audio editing for this video, as well as editing a part of my religion video when I was crunched for time, and overall just being really helpful with the video making process. From reading my scripts ahead of time and giving me some, criticism, to helping out with audio and video editing, just all that good stuff. He makes some videos of his own, pretty underrated small YouTuber, and he's a cool dude, so he made a good video about content cop videos and why most of them are bad, which I really enjoyed, so you'd probably like it. Subscribe to him and leave him a like, you bummy boys. I'll have him linked in the description as well as in the end card. Thanks for watching, and bye. Cue the outro.